side that sits on top of the table against a side that's desperate to claw themselves into the finals series. The Power at home, a 6-day break against a side that travels as well as any in the league. Thursday night football's away. Trengove quickly. One-on-one contest. Birchall.
Oh, the man, Hawthorn. Charlie, watch the arms.
No, instructions Birchall. Early to Dixon. So Birchall quickly by hand to Mitchell. The contract extension. Another season coming for Mitchell. He's been so brilliant.
Oh, the man, Hawthorn.
Another free kick, this time to Segler. So a lot of noise at ground level pre-game, a lot of expectation. Gunston, well, Bruce just lurks. West off the tackler. Ball to ground. Caught. It's on.
That's the pressure that they have to bring Port Adelaide. They haven't gone the hard tag on Mitchell at this point in time. Robbie Gray started at the centre bounce, but it looks like they're going to allow him to run around by himself at this point, Richo.
So Westhoff just was going to change direction and kicks towards Wingard. Segler, Young, little give Dixon, that was clever, and strong. Wingard on the up, thinking, using the ball. Impey gets it to Young. Young's 50 metres out. That's a good kick. That's a beautiful kick. He caressed it, didn't he? And Jay Schultz, who Matty Richardson played a lot of footy with, and both Richo and Duck talked about the importance of him hitting the scoreboard, gets his chance.
Well, he needed the run last week, Bruce, obviously, after a long layoff. This will get his confidence up. And one thing Jay brings to the game is work rate, and he always leads at the ball carrier, which will really help Dixon out getting one-on-one opportunities.
He's back.
That's the start you want when you've been out injured for a while. An early goal, and all his teammates got around him. They know how important that confidence is.
Wingard's vision, I mean, just his vision, his ability to work through traffic, make the right option. And Young was the perfect kick.
It was a beautifully weighted kick.
Put it down in the great tackle. Westhoff off path back on Bruce. And that pressure is what causes that goal. Well, we spoke before the game that there'd be some niggle in this one. Already, 3 Port players going to the captain of Hawthorn.
So Schultz gets the first on Thursday night footy. And Port by 6. Lewis sends them forward. Gunston trapped. Cleary goes with him. 0-all draw.
So Kane Mitchell started out on the wing. As we have a look at the scuffle here, there's a bit in it. I'm just wondering whether Mitchell's going to go to Mitchell now. He started on the wing, but it looks like he might go to him now.
Shields, good tackle on Ebert, taking the ground straight away. So the tackling here last Friday night from Port Adelaide was ferocious and manic. Mitchell on Mitchell, as we'd hope.
Yeah, you just wonder why they did that. Maybe to put Sam Mitchell into a false sense of security and think, oh, I've got no tag as he gets the ball now.
Now to Smith. We know he's a long kick. It's got the carry. Just offline.
It's amazing what coaches and the mind games they play. Sam Mitchell, very experienced player. I'm pretty sure he thought at some point it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Did run around for the first few minutes, Richo, by himself.
He's got a couple of touches already, Mitch, so he's felt the leather.
So that's a good start for him. He's up and going. Smith got that early goal against North, remember, a couple of weeks ago. Gee, Hartler, that's a beautiful kick. Wingard, lovely hands. Darcy Jones, wide. Impey's quick. So Port have got the ball here very, very quickly. That's a lovely kick again. Gives Mead a bit of a chance. Well done by Frawley, the bigger man. Mitchell again. Waiting. Careful kick, good kick. Gets it to Let him run now.
That was just Frawley's body size there. Need just couldn't quite work back off him. He had terrific position, but just the size of Frawley kept him in the contest.
McAvoy, strong hands in front of Cracker in the end, but also Richo Frawley, just a little kick off the ground.
Smart, yeah.
Got it out of trouble. Well, Hodge, nothing. We're going to stop it from here. He's been out a long time this season. He's got his body back in shape. Birchall. Good to see this man back. missed with his grandfather's funeral.
Hold. Stay behind.
Back under the bright lights to Bruce. Hard up against the boundary line. Sicily works himself into a good spot, uses his body perfectly, moves Logan Austin out of the way.
Stay.
Good call, Hammer.
Mark's over here.
Early body work, wasn't it? Just put the early body work on, and that gave him the space. We said before the game, really good above his head, plays really tall for a man of his size.
He's got 9 centimetres, Austin, on Sicily there, but he plays like a 6'5", doesn't he, Sicily?
22-12 for the year, James Sicily. That's not his best. Won't score at all. Now get the ball back.
It's funny, so early, but taking chances. Smith missed one that he probably kicked. You would have backed Sicily from there.
Yeah, normally a beautiful kick.
Yeah, it's early days. Boak on the end of that. Port moving the ball quickly. It's when they play their best football. Hartlett's kick is not so good. Well done by Bircham. Good tackle by Gray, but Rioli gets it from Bruce to Burgoyne to Shields to fall forward. Gunston, well done getting back Cracker, because Cleary was in trouble with Dunstan there. Puopolo and a boundary throw in.
He was gone. That was the third man in assistance. Gunston would have taken an easy overhead mark there. Terrific work, Cracker.
Wayne, his parents, the Gunstons, are on the plane next year. I said, how do you feel when you watch Jack play? He said, more nervous than if I was playing myself. Mrs. Gunston said the same. Doesn't like to watch, but here, the Adelaide Oval tonight, Gray misses the target. Boundary line will beat Brand to the footy.
Sorry.
Just speaking to Ken Hinkley after we finished the interview, I said, how do you sleep before a game? He said, no good. I said, what did you do last night? He said, watch Federer, watch the races, watch more of Federer. Started Murray. He's like all of us, gets excited.
Yeah, it's a good night to watch this bit of sport.
He was pumped walking across the ground with you. I mean, his comment about Mitchell, and it was just fantastic. So Rioli off the deck, only as far as Cracker.
Play on, you mate.
Burn Jones, Rising Star nomination this year. It's been important, hasn't missed a game since he started, 13 straight tonight. Austin's had a difficult start, but let off the hook, but that's a terrible kick, so 2 negatives against him early. Rioli's got it.
Go through.
So young Logan Austin outmarked by Sicily and then burns the ball in the back half.
And that's been an issue for them all year, Port Adelaide. 17th for disposal efficiency, first for clangers. You can't give the ball back to Hawthorn, especially in this position here. Play us out everywhere.
That's as big a clanger as you'll see.
Yeah, that's a clanger.
Well, Rioli's been accurate in front of goal. He's had a lot of shots from close in this year, but he's nailed it. And the Hawks hit the front.
Be fresh as a daisy, Cyril. A bit of a rest.
He's doing a bit of work, though. Had a possession up on the wing, pushing back into the forward 50 there. But yeah, as you said, Rich, I just can't afford to have turnovers like that. That's just under no pressure. It's just a shocker.
Your teammates make position down the ground, and it just it makes you think about actually trying to make position if you keep turning it over.
$27-7 now for the year for that man. He is a craftsman. What he's done in such a short career, remarkable. So Trengove, big night. McAvoy and Segler to combat.
Oh, the man, Hawthorn. Stay, Brad. Play on.
So Hodgie just comes back inside and then land about 30 from home. Front spot is Segler. Cleary out the back. Little chance quickly. O'Shea did enough. Just got it out of trouble just for the moment. Howe. Little under Mitchell. Back inside. Really clever handball. Now to Gunston. Doesn't have much room to move. Big one to the goal square. A long wait for Cleary. Well, coming across, Darcy Byrne-Jones. Almost a chance for Shields. The give was good. Gunston cut off by Darcy Byrne-Jones.
It was a pretty smart kick from Isaac Smith. He deliberately kicked that high because he had nothing and he was outnumbered with Port having a number back. So he just put it up as high as he could.
Bought some time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hawthorn looking sharp now after Port got that opening goal. Segler could be a problem for Port Adelaide tonight, the ruck. I mean, Trengove did so well last week. Stronger opposition tonight. Kane Mitchell with a little fumble. Quick kick forward by Howe, who's the late inclusion for O'Brien. Gee, that's good by Pittard. That is brilliant. And then the smother. Well done by Hodge, typical Hodge. Ebert, slow, gets away. Poor kick, Port burning the ball early. Stratton's got it, and then Stratton's kick's a beauty. Smith, they open it up. Gibson, usually accurate with ball in hand, kicks to the top of the square. Rioli can't get a jump. Gunston just floats across in front.
Oh, they're all worried about Rioli. He drew a crowd, didn't he? 3 Port defenders worried about Cyril Gunston able to just come across. As we have a look at this smother, it wasn't just a smother. He nearly took possession off the boot, didn't he? But you can see here, a couple worried about Cyril. Gunston just came across the front. Easy mark in the end.
Well, you boys talked about their forward line pre-match. It's already looking a worry. Sicily's had a shot. Rioli's kicked a goal. Gunston's kicked a goal.
It is a formidable lineup, isn't it, when you've got Gunston kicking 33 coming in tonight, Bruce 31, Rioli 26, Puopolo 25, Sicily 22. It's just where to look as a defender.
It's forward line spread of goal kickers, and that's what every team wants, and they've been doing it right through this premiership reign that they've had. Every forward player is dangerous. So there's a bit of talk about Hawthorn's contested ball numbers during the week, but one thing they do, they're an elite pressure team. They force you into mistakes, they force you into turnovers, and then they use the ball better than anyone going the other way.
So Broadbent quickly out of the middle, around the corner. Chance almost for Young, goes begging. Well done, Duray. Little support from Gibson, missed by Frawley. Here's Young again, right on his measure. It's going to skip on through. Minor score, no, out of bounds on the full. Just going back to Hodgie there, putting that smother on. He's extraordinary. He's had busted arms, damaged hands, sore knees. Nothing stops him.
He's the ultimate warrior.
He's like William Dafoe in that last scene in Platoon. Just keeps on going.
So Dixon's free kick. Hawthorn owning the ball, though. We saw the disposal count a moment ago, nearly double. Dixon long. This is where he would like to be. It's Schulz forward. Hawthorn, Gibson, Young. Oh, gee whiz.
Watch your feet. Okay. Oscar.
The old ball and the young ball.
They're behind.
Young Ollie Vines.
Yeah, neither of them take it back instead.
Segler and Hodge conceding. What happens here?
Out, Ollie.
Saw an interesting one at the MCG last Sunday, didn't we?
We saw 2 last weekend, which was...
Rhymes here on the Friday night.
Well, didn't get paid, and then we saw 2 over the rest of the weekend.
He wasn't under extreme pressure there, Hodgie, but would have been stiff to be paid.
So Duray looks for some tall timber. McAvoy got a couple to deal with. In the end, Hartlett did well. Terrific to find Mitchell in the end. Now Pittard gets away from Burgoyne. Onto his right boot. How does it fall? Terrific in the end. Well done, Boat. Got her under Nathan Cracker. Low ball to half forward. Schultz just out of position. Forces the contest. Gets hold of the football. Well done. This time on the up to Westhoff. Gets rid of the tackler. Pulls the kick. Sees Eamon wide. Just a little bit too much, I think. Out of bounds on the full.
Birchall.
Ollie in line.
They're a hard team to rattle, Hawthorn. This back 6, Birchall, with just a tiny stumble. Not a good kick. Young Austin Marks turns 21 tomorrow. Hasn't had a great start, but he can make up for that. Gets it back. Can he find a target here? Shaw's completely outnumbered, pushing out.
Hawthorn. Push. No, push into actions.
So Port a little predictable going forward at the moment, and Hawthorn get out. Gibson and Shields running it hard. That tackle didn't stick from Impey. Shields doing well, and that one is out on the full. So Port to bang it back in.
Oh, Jack.
That long bomb in not working for Port early.
No, that was Austin again. Bruce just has to have a little more composure. Only a young player. Just has to use it better.
So Cleary in his 3rd year
Hold there.
finds
I'm
Impey.
out.
He and Logan Austin both turning 21 this weekend. It'll be a nice way to kick off the weekend. Mitchell drops in front of Kane Mitchell. Ollie Wines knocked it down. Puoplo had it, and Burne-Jones knocked it out of his hands, crashing through Carl Heyman. Free kick going away. Sicily or Hill? I think Hill will grab the footy.
Ollie, careful.
No, pushes Ollie. Wines out of the way. Sicily.
Go wide, Mitch.
Good name for multicultural round. Doing his bit. Back it goes to Brand.
Yours.
Now to Gibson. So Tahata steps back inside. Measures the kick, does well. McAvoy.
On Ollie.
It's been thwarted for the moment, Hawthorn. They're patient, though. Hill providing something different, but then turns it over. Cracker. Well, he wants a chaos ball now. This might be deliberate if it goes out. Let's see what the umpire does. Yep. It's a fair call, I reckon.
He did that because he looked up and Brand was the only man back there. Hawthorn defence held their positioning really well and he just had nothing to go to, so it was worth a try.
So Brand goes long. Gibson had it for a moment, went and got it again off the ground, then under enormous pressure, Boak almost ran into Gunson, couldn't quite get hold of the football. Burgoyne, a former teammate, does, goes some distance. Rioli was held. Was he holding? He was doing the holding, or did he push into him, Macca?
Yeah, no, Rioli pushing into O'Shea.
So Pittard does the 360, back to the wing it goes. Cracker in front, Mitchell arrived late. In the end, Boak picks it up, looks to half forward. Got a couple of players there. There's some talent and some IQ. Young and Wingard. Then Young to Dixon, who runs out of ideas. Holds on to the footy. Driving ball off the left. Front spot Wingard. Almost, not quite. For Ebert, almost again. Schiltz, terrific. Wingard's normally a good finisher, and he is again. Back to square.
Do you know, great call, Hayden. When he got the handball, you could see his brain working. He said, "Nah, I've got to kick this, and I can." It was brilliant. So, and without the boot, so that's maybe why the brain was ticking.
It was a great second effort because he flew for the mark and then he wheeled around the front, got involved straight away.
Well, you can see here, flies for the ball, then gets back in the contest, Richo, and kicks this one without a boot, which was quite remarkable. He was looking for the handball, but
He might have had
kicked it
more
anyway.
fun on the ball, Doug.
He's a gun, isn't he?
It's been a free kick here in the goal square, is it?
It's a point.
Oh, it's touched.
Okay, so it's a point.
All clear, 1 point.
Ah.
Okay. Hold the footy. Hold the
Gee,
footy.
that snuck up on us, didn't it?
Didn't know there was a review going on.
It's an anti-climax.
Stay behind,
Every
please.
goal is reviewed,
It
isn't it?
is reviewed, everyone.
You. Yep.
Good mark by Howe.
Hold there, Mitch.
So the Hawks with a little break there. So Howe down the line.
Sicily, a bit of a wait, in the end just knocked away. So a disappointing result, obviously, for Port Adelaide, but they've been competitive early. The Hawks, they are rested. The power off that 6-day break. They got their season rolling again with the win over the Tigers on Friday Night Football. First goal of the match to Schiltz, Rioli and Gunston for the Hawks. Segler knocks it into some space. Well done, Bruce. Got hold of the footy. Tackle was strong from Hutt. It was immediate. Bruce, no opportunity.
No prior.
We've only had 10 tackles in this first quarter so far. 8 to Port, 2 to Hawthorn. But you wouldn't say it's not an intense game. It just hasn't been a lot of close-in contesting work.
Segler won the battle, ended up with Wines. Series of handballs. Gray just crashed into by Mitchell.
Advantage.
And the advantage, and Cracker can run and carry.
Jonathan.
Awkward looking kick to full forward. Shaw's used a bit of hands there. Gives it to Wingard. This will be a goal. A bit going on behind. Port back in front.
Boys, hands down.
Well, Mitchell crashing into Gray.
Yep.
And I don't think Port liked it too much. And a bit going on here. Shaw's
Spread it nicely out the back.
He did. And Wingard with the goal. But, well, the match is everything we want it to be.
You
Two
can see
right
Mitchell there. Definitely a free kick. Key to the goal, there's Segler and Trengove having a little bit of a go. Key to that goal, though, was the kick to the advantage of Schultz.
So 20 minutes gone. Couple of goals each, 2 lead changes. Port back in front. Broadbent. Terrific kick. Opens things up. Now Gray can give. Does. Wines will run to about 50. Just gets collared late. It was enough from Burgoyne. How often does he do it? Just the desperate stuff. And Howe, who held his spot in this side with Tim O'Brien going out late. Caldevirus going through the club. Sicily off hands. Puoplo can come back inside. Does. Heard the call from Shields. Clean, Bruce. Then lost it in the tackle. Now to Hartlett. Little kick is good again. Runners on the outside. Howe did well, just held Wines up. He had Mitchell going so too was young.
Outstanding pressure here from Port Adelaide.
You know, absolutely, Richo. Port Adelaide just burning the ball going forward. Their pressure's fantastic. Kane Mitchell stood under it. Handball, okay. Dixon made it all right. Need, clever, very clever, to Boat. Boat to centre-half forward. Lovely kick. Aim on marks. Gee, that's good footy.
Jay, come on, Jay.
That's 10 inside 50s in a row
Boys.
to Port Adelaide.
Mark's here.
A lot of niggle, but as you've said, Richo, already, this goal is set up by the pressure that Port Adelaide putting on Hawthorn now.
So aim on, normally accurate, is missed. So a big miss there.
Yeah, you got to make it count when you have Hawthorn on the ropes like this. 10 inside 50s in a row. Hawthorn only 3 tackles. Port are moving the ball quickly. They're not being allowed to tackle.
Like Chile
being in a
Federer
position
last
to
night,
tackle.
you don't get many opportunities against the champ, do you? So they'll need to take the most from wonderful stuff from Ebert. Went back. Really strong hands and he's groggy.
Time on. Yeah, it's all right. Nah, he's all right. It's fine. We'll just be winning. You got a blood rule here. Blood rule, Lee.
Is that out of the mouth?
Gee, it is, yeah.
He landed very heavily on his back.
Yours. It is. All right. You're both there.
Oh, strong mark.
When his head hit the ground,
Yeah, we'll wait till he gets off. Yeah, he took the mark.
It's almost like he could have done some internal damage the way he's...
Hamish,
Yeah, it didn't...
Hamish, just wait till I blow it.
doesn't look good, does it? Talk about the courage of the players. Courage to hang on to the footy, Richo, when you know you lose your feet in the air, but hang on to the footy rather than let go of it and protect yourself.
it's a horrible feeling when you lose your balance in the air.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst feeling you can have, I reckon.
So Hartlett takes the kick for Ebert and pops it to Dixon. Couldn't quite. Gray got an important touch. Rioli's first tackle on Boat was good. And a ball up.
Up we get.
Your point on courage, Duck, we expect the players to do so much week in, week out, and we question when they don't. Something like that is just a normal passage of play.
Segler getting over the top. Hodge running the gauntlet. Little toe poke. Didn't get it out. Well played, Hodge. Puopolo, hands were good. Got it to Smith. Smith likes to run and carry. Decides to kick immediately. Port have got the numbers. Burn-Jones releases O'Shea.
Holding advantage.
Heard the ump. Pittard's been important early. Wines.
50 metres inside the protected area. Jasper, come with me.
Well, it's now 14 inside 50s to 6, and when Port play well and they're on, they dominate time in forward half as Ebert goes down to be assessed in the rooms. So some good signs here for Port.
But this is a big kick.
Yeah, they've got to make it.
Have to make it pay.
This is massive. Wines to goal and does. So Port do get a little bit of a break here. They've earned it. Rioli's been in a lot of things tonight. He's worked hard, he's kicked a goal, he's been in a couple of scuffles. He'll get into another one now.
He's getting really involved in
isn't he?
the verbal with all the Port players. See Robbie Gray having another crack there.
Is that the normal way for Sue? We know he can
Wouldn't have
handle
thought.
himself.
No, yeah, I wouldn't have thought so.
I haven't seen him as vocal as this.
Normally a silent assassin, isn't he?
50 metres again, Cyril Rioli there has given the goal to Ollie Wine. So Port now out by 8 points there. Cyril getting plenty of attention from the Port Adelaide players. Brad Ebert's gone down now with the medical staff. That nasty knock to the back of the head, coughing up a little bit of blood. He looked very groggy, so we'll keep an eye on him.
Thanks, Soda. So Schultz got the first for the Power. The Hawks the next two. Wingard and Wines the last two. Another opportunity for Port. Well done. Frawley drifted in front of Schultz. So Frawley, who played so much as a Demon, never played a final, got his wish last year. Played 4, walked away with a flag to McAvoy. He's well managed on the outer side. So top v 9th, and the only side outside of the 8 that can have a run at finals. It's a tough run home. Doesn't get much tougher than this. The Hawks, they've got him for the moment. They lead by 8.
Segler winning that tap again. Hodge, Puopolo, high ball, difficult. Cracker gets to the front. Rioli lurking. Well done, Austin, that time. That ball's still in, though. Didn't take the bounce, now out.
Well, it's been 15 minutes since they've been inside 50, the Hawks.
Often they don't need many inside 50.
No, they don't. That's the
Things can get very nervous when
greatness
the ball
of this
goes
side.
So Segler winning most of these ruck duels. Wines reading that pretty well. Impey releasing Boat. Boat's little kick forward's a good one. And now it opens up.
Schultz brings it wide. Darcy Byrne-Jones just gets pushed back a little. Hawthorn have done well. Got numbers back into the defensive 50. Big fly coming up potentially. Well, it was almost in the end for Wingard. Not quite. Puopolo tries to grab some meters. Going to fall inside the square. Going back against Segler. Did well against Trengo.
Stay out.
So Segler just measures, contemplates. Little give to Birchall. Squeezed the ball through a couple of Port players to Stratton. Now to Bruce.
Hill and Hartung have had 1 possession each. They're important players. They're running carry players. They break the play open and get the ball inside 50.
Bruce kicked to a hot spot. But Cracker has played a brilliant first quarter. Cuts across. Not the first time tonight that he's cut across. He denied Gunston earlier.
He reads it well through the air, doesn't he? And knows when to sag off his opponent to help his fellow defender.
And he's quick, Wayne, so he can sort of get there in a hurry. Young. Pittard.
So that Mitchell is planting himself in the middle there, and Sam Mitchell didn't defend him.
Byrne-Jones has kicked wide. Gibson and Dixon. Interesting battle here. Dixon's like a big ball. He just ragdolled Gibson there, Charlie Dixon. That doesn't happen too often, but he kicks terribly, awfully, and undoes all the good work. But he's given Josh something to think about.
So Kane Mitchell, when Port get the ball, he is trying to attract the ball in the middle of the ground. He's standing around the centre square to make Sam Mitchell accountable. And he sagged back on that occasion, Sam Mitchell.
He must be mentally very strong, Kane Mitchell, Rich. I mean, he was so good in the waffle, won a couple of premierships with Claremont on the Sandover medal. Was rookie drafted, upgraded, delisted, listed again. Then last week gets his first opportunity and nails it against Cochin.
Well, he's just desperate to play AFL footy.
So Brand to Stratton and the Hawks for the moment. Happy just to absorb a little of the clock. Port doing a terrific job. 12, make it 17 to 7 inside 50. So Port have dominated the use of the ball, but lead by just 8. Trengove, Sicily, got him well covered.
Hi, Port Adelaide.
Well, hasn't got him well covered at all. Took him high. A big job for Trengove in the absence of Lobie and Ryder.
Again, a poor kick, and Hodge cuts it off. So Hawthorn just catching their breath a little here, Phil. Birchall. Now they might be out. Lewis gets on the end of Shields. Kicks to centre half forward. They'll need a bit of luck. Bruce creates it well. Waiting for the ball. He was quicker than the ball there. Cracker getting back again. Cleary, Rioli.
On the ball. Off on.
You don't take Cyril on, do you, when he's going to tackle you like that?
Justin! Yes, man. Right here.
Yeah, you're never going to get through that.
He's like a trained operative.
Line's
Yeah.
good. 15 seconds.
It'd be horrible looking up
That's
and
it.
seeing Cyril standing there.
Talked about his accuracy from set shots. As we said earlier, a lot of them have been close in. And he gets his second, and Hawthorn closed the gap. He's, I mean, this sounds ridiculous. You feel like he's emotionally engaged even more than normal tonight?
Yeah, he's definitely been in a lot of the niggle, hasn't he? And he just has a great ability to kick a goal when they need one. But this is the great thing about this team. They are being dominated inside their opposition's forward line, and yet they can go to the other end of the ground, Richo, and it's a couple of points the difference.
He is right in this emotionally, Cyril Rioli, tonight. You're right, Doug. They've soaked up a heap of pressure. 17 inside 50s to 8, yet they're going to go to quarter time and the scores are basically level. It's demoralising sometimes for the opposition, I reckon.
Rioli, he missed for emotional reasons. The funeral of his grandfather returns, and he's invested, okay, 28-7 now for the season.
Hawthorn.
Remarkable. So he's
Rioli.
kicking at 80%. He gets the footy again, but it'll be the last roll of the dice. What a terrific first term. Hawthorn get the last. Port lead at the first break. 3-3 Port Adelaide to Hawthorn 3-1. Inside 50 count, 17-8. But Hawthorn, they don't often misuse the footy. Not to think about for that man. Quarter time on a Thursday night. Port by a couple of points. So the second term about to get underway. Port by 2 points. Rioli's got a couple next to his name. Gunston the other for Hawthorn. Schultz, Wingard and Wines the goal scorers for Port. Mitchell. Little kick didn't go too far. Trengo through his legs. Mitchell. Tunnel balls it to Mitchell. Off the ground. Burn-Jones almost for Howe. Mitchell just hold his arm. Now Hard-Tongue circles back. Hard-Tongue happy to go to Duray. Finds his left boot. Long ball inside 50. Not quite for Gunston. Cleary knocked it away. Segler was clever in the end. Went to McAvoy. Back it comes. Puopolo. Hurried kick. Up the back is Hill. Front spot is Westhoff. Happy just to continue on. Works the ball. And it's going to come back quickly. So to Duray, to Lewis, to the top of the square. Who's flying? Pittard knocks it away. Broadbent's got to be quick. Westhoff too hot for him. Just going back to Ebert, who's played, including tonight, 108 games in a row. So I just wonder whether he's finally going to come to an end in regard to missing next week or not.
Hasn't missed a game at Port Adelaide at all, Hayne. In fact, he's got the longest streak going. Port Adelaide's kicking efficiency is going to be a telling tale tonight. Just saw Westhoff a moment ago. Gray wrapped up. Ball up. They're just going to have to improve in that area. So the captain and the coach, we talked about them being on the same page at the start of the week.
Yeah, they certainly were. They set the tone for what Hawthorn wanted to do tonight.
Burgoyne, Westhoff, doesn't quite get it out. Kane Mitchell, lots of Hawthorn players around there. Robbie Gray, just got enough on it. Burgoyne worked towards the front. Puopolo, good tackle. Cleary, great smother across the body. Was that Burgoyne? I think it was. And Hawthorn doing well here. They're keeping it in.
There's Hodge, who is the general back there now, just patrolling, keeping everything in order.
Well, Gunston, very clean hands from Westhoff. Had to be. Rocketed into his body. Dixon flew. Out the back, a chance for Schultz. Off the ground, Wines did well. Clean. Had to be. Works it wide to Young. Nothing doing forward of the ball. Back to Need. Gonna have to come through the middle. They do. It's a wonderful kick in the end. Broadbent. Nothing doing running on the outside, so he kicks long. A one-on-one contest. Hill, Impey, Hill, Impey, Hill. Knocks it back. Impey's still in it. On the boundary line. Has a win in the end.
If I'm Ken Hinkley, I don't want Luke Hodge to be free in that defensive part of the ground. He is such a general, as you said, Richo. I know they'll have a loose as well, but you don't leave Luke Hodge free. He just sets everything up for the Hawks.
He won his first Norm Smith doing that duck, didn't he?
Yep.
Kane Mitchell, Wingard in a good spot, he'll go. He does. He's got two. Cyril's got two. They're stride for stride.
Hawthorn will be disappointed here because they had Port hemmed in. They had Hodge back behind the football, but they allowed that inboard kick. I think it was from Kane Mitchell. and that opened it all up. They didn't allow that inboard kick. They would have been able to cut it off where Hodge was positioned. They got it inside 50, got a stoppage, and Wingard's made them pay.
And that's the bravery Ken Hinkley's talked about, the ball movement.
Yeah.
Straight out, guys.
And this is why this guy is so brilliant. Doesn't need too much space or time to nail a goal.
So Wingard has 2, and he's a fingernail away from having 3.
Comes up with a footy when you jump.
Just going back to Hodge giving all that direction. He's almost captain coach, isn't he? Jezza and Blight are the last to do monumental things in that role, but he is a good man to have wearing the captain's armband. Darcy Byrne-Jones did well, just knocked it to Hart. He in turn to O'Shea under enormous pressure, and he's going to run fine to the boundary line. And yeah, not a bad result, skips over. He's an absolute warrior. He's bandaged up, hand, arm, knee. Hodge soldiers on. In fact, just thighs, the strapping on the knee this week off.
McAvoy, Lewis read it best, and then toe pokes cleverly forward. Burgoyne, speaking of a clever, and Gunston's tap on. That's Hawthorn to a tee. Little taps and toes, and they were able to get it forward. She burned Jones, did a bit of ballet dancing. Kane Mitchell's pick-up was good. To Westhoff, back to Kane Mitchell. Mitchell's little left-footer down the line, and that's out on the full for Wines, and Hawthorn to bring it back in.
Stay on.
Hodge to keep the pressure on. Out at centre wing.
Play on, you're inside. Play on.
Heard the calls of the umpires.
Yours.
So Hodge buys himself some space. Long ball, Gunston, was he pushed into Hart? No. Hill, quick snap, it'll bounce.
All clear.
A minor score only. Hartlett, a bit worse for wear. Let's have another look at it. Just an elbow to the head from Gunston as he was competing.
So Cleary sort of hands at the back, weren't they? We're just sort of hanging on to Gunston. Oh, Wingard nearly. And then it spills out. Gibson, Sam Mitchell. Well done by Brown. That was good stuff. Smith, they've had to retreat a fair way here, Hawthorn, but they've got the numbers back there. Duray spreads it. Howe had a very important handball in the opening term, Howe in the back up. So Hartlett in some big trouble here.
All there. Play on.
So he's right in defence at the moment as Hartong kicks to full forward.
Oh, he's going to be disappointed with that.
Maxie, thank you.
Gee, he looks out to it, doesn't he?
I've had my binoculars on him, he's no good at all.
10 metres.
He actually got back and filled up the space. He's really struggling. They want to get him off, obviously.
Well, they could be too short.
Yeah, even already coming back by the sound of it. Hartlett, groggy. And Logan Austin having a difficult night. Segler normally a good kick, and Hawthorn get back that goal. Close the gap.
Well, Hartlett comes towards the bench only slowly. He almost felt and looked as if he was looking for blood, didn't he? He put his hands over his ears and then looked to see if there was any fluid.
His head hit the ground really hard.
This is slightly better signs now, aren't they? Because he's moving a little better.
You'll have to go through the protocol, though, so I think he'll be off for a while.
Oh,
Crash.
it's a hard knock, isn't it? Oh.
2 knocks, one to the head and then the head to the ground.
Yeah.
And Ebert, of course, still in those rooms and unlikely to come back.
So Segler gets the Hawks 4th. Game back to within a point. Gunston involved in that collision with Hartlett. Rioli tried to slap at the space. Cracker had it and lost it. Gets it again. Loses a footy. Rioli loses his feet.
Fine.
Not much time to think about it in this game of football. It is mayhem wherever the ball is. 7 gone, second term. Port by a point. Chance for Westhoff, went searching for Mitchell, finds Cracker. He's got to be quick. Tackle was on from Bruce. Lots of footy.
On the ball, legal disposal. Oh, thank you, Nathan.
There's that forward pressure again.
I spoke about it for the game, Richo. At the very best, all of those smaller forwards, Rioli, Bruce, Poppy, they're all just so good with that forward pressure.
kick goals as well, but they're elite defensive players.
What a career so far. 5.5 years since debut, 4 grand finals, 3 flags, and every week he just kicks goal after goal after goal. Bruce, he's got his first. In that first year, Luke Bruce, he burst onto the scene, kicked 30, which was remarkable, followed up with 45, 40 the next year, 57, 12, going at 82% in 2014, and then 52, 19 last year.
Well, he's nearly 2 goals a game as a small medium forward. Not many have done that over their careers.
So problems for the man on the right, Ken Hinkley. He's a couple of men down right now for Alistair Clarkson. A good response here. Brewster goal in every game this season. So Hawthorn in front. A rare win in the ruck department for Port there. Trengove, of course, doing manfully in a role that it's not so natural. Boats kick again, a disappointment. So Port haven't cleaned up that kicking efficiency. Gibson, Giray.
Yeah, they've actually dropped 1% this quarter, so it hasn't improved.
So Giray just measures the kick. Austin got a finger in there. Boat read it pretty well off Gunston, and that ball not out and a ball up.
Thank you.
It's a bit of an arm wrestle. It's what we expected. A lot of fire, a bit of spite early. Goals difficult to come by.
Ring Port Adelaide. Right to him. Time on. Play on.
So Westhoff happy just to buy some territory. To half forward. Front spot will be Dixon. In front of him, though, Brand, who's been impressive in the last little bit of his career. Set out last year. Shoulder issues. Did it during the NAB Cup. Broke a shoulder and spent the year recovering. Smith feeds it over the top now. Giray sees a free man in Frawley, who can just freewheel down the wing. Driving ball long. Bruce, he kicked the last. Not quite going to have another shot. Gunston, how clever was that? To a clever man. Rioli's got 3. Or has he?
I think they're checking the post.
Score review. Umpire's call is a behind. Can you please confirm the ball hit the post?
Review underway.
It's going to be hard to prove it didn't hit the post, and he's given it behind, so it's going to be tricky. Gunston's slap, and I think, Bruce, you alluded to it before, it almost needs to be a stat for Hawthorn.
They're the best in the competition at hitting the ball to an advantage without taking possession. That's the difference between the two teams right now. Port Adelaide going forward, butchering the ball.
Review complete. Umpire's call.
All clear.
Behind.
Well done, mate.
So Wingard and Rioli are keeping up with one another tonight, aren't they?
Thank you.
Just dangerous signs for Port. I mean, Hawthorn starting to get some uncontested marks around the ground.
It was Brand winning the ball back in the air down the other end. Wingard was his direct opponent and peeled off to go front and square, let Brand take the mark.
Dixon's kick again, not very well directed. Hodge, so clever. Frawley, he did okay, kept the hips going. Aim on. Ball squirting out the back. Impey, Wines, well done, Hodge again. I think he sees a bit of Ollie Wines in himself. Every time they get near one another, he just makes sure that the old ball rubs against the young ball a bit.
A little bit of respect there as well.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the way he's doing it.
I mean, from Hodge to Wines.
That's exactly right. No, spot on. He's picked his target, hasn't he? He wouldn't waste that on anyone.
Bruce, some good news for Port Adelaide. Hamish Hartlett has just come back onto the field. He spent some time with Dr. Damien Newbury just running through a concussion test, but he's been given the thumbs up at this stage.
Thanks, Sodas. Huge result for Port Adelaide with Brad Ebert still having some difficulties. Robbie Gray, little fumble initially, and did well. 1-2 with Impey. Where's Schultz? Dixon goes back with a flight, couldn't quite control the foot. He might get a second crack. Can he find a man wearing a dark jumper? He's well held up here and going nowhere.
Oh, well done. That was absolutely brilliant. Doesn't get a step for that, Richo, but just to go back and compete, then follow up and get a neutral ball, they get a chance now. That's brilliant.
That's what you want your big guys to do.
Yep.
Westhoff won the tap. Hodge got hold of the football, crashed into Wines. Help from Boak. Young ends up with a footy, and Howe wraps him up immediately.
It's a beautiful stoppage up here on the wing too. Trengove to Robbie Gray.
Yep. Shades of Lade and Burgoyne in the old days when Sean was playing for Port Adelaide. Hodge just released the ball. May have been fractionally lucky. Wines first in. Gee, that's good play by Wines. Here is Hartland back in the action.
In the ball, Hawthorn.
And Hodge in the thick of everything at the moment. He really is standing strong down back. He's in every contest. He reads it better than any player. And then kicks it poorly. To a contest. Hawk may get out. Not quite. Down low, Gray. Gray did well, kept the hips going.
To Eamon, who fires it through, misses the target. Might still work out okay. Wingard to space. Who's going to get there first? Stratton beat knee to it. Schultz arrives. Well, it's a tough contest. We expected that.
Let him up, please.
Good to see Hamish Hartnett getting his hands on the footy again and be back out onto the ground. So Hawks by a straight kick. Trengo from over the back, knocked it down. Shields only momentarily couldn't find a free Hawk.
Don't block
So you see Howe out on the ground. If you just joined us, Tim O'Brien, the late out, making way for Rioli. Howe retains his spot. Here's Hodge. We've talked about him for so long in glowing terms. Well done, Pittard. Arrived late. Puopolo just held off the football. Still got a boot to it. Hill. He's got pace. Can't control the footy.
See Sam Mitchell about to come back on the ground. And Kane Mitchell will be waiting for him.
He's literally waiting 3 feet from him. Just waiting for him to cross the gates.
It's stiff there, Port, because Impey and Gray went for the same clearance. I think Gray was disappointed.
It looked like it was on.
Yeah. Austin, Westhoff, two players that haven't used the ball well tonight. So pressure on Justin here. He needs to find a target here, and he does. So he got through that test as Hamish Hartlett's gone through his own a moment ago.
The whole game's tightened up now. It's a real arm wrestle.
So Hartlett, it's okay. To O'Shea. So who does that suit, Matthew, do you reckon? I mean, is that good for which team? Any? Either?
Yep.
Does it matter?
You'd back Hawthorn if it stayed like this in a close one. They've just got the runs on the board, haven't they? They've won some close ones this year.
Just zip, yeah. Compared with so many players, when they have the footy, you don't get nervous. They're decision makers. They make correct decisions. We're still seeing Port Adelaide make incorrect decisions and panic at times with the footy. If they can straighten that up, then this game is on.
Hard to think of conditions where you wouldn't favour Hawthorn, though. They're just the complete team. O'Shea almost to Mitchell. Hodge got in there, couldn't quite control the footy. Shields just knocks it away. Then Hodge to Burgoyne. Again towards the boundary line. Not being smart with that, but it's just all conditions, regardless of how they present themselves, Hawthorn find a way to adapt quickly. The instructor, the captain, the quasi-coach, Luke Hodge. Great to see him string a couple of games together, one before the bye. Around the corner it goes, Broadbent. No time to bring it back inside. So with 17 gone in the second term, 5-3 to 4-3.
A lot of byplay between those two. You can see just a lot of pushing by Kane Mitchell on Sam Mitchell.
Became the most annoying person in the world for Trent Cotchin last Friday night. Mitchell gets away from him to Segler to Howe, back into Port's hands.
So a bit of pressure gets released suddenly, doesn't it, for Port?
It's hard to get through for both teams because there is a +1 at either end now. Josh Gibson is the man loose, and Pittard generally is the man down the other end.
Move on!
So it's so hard for Port to get it to the other side of the ground at the moment. So this long ball. Westhoff was the early fly. Segler, hard tongue.
when you're trapped in your defensive 50 here at the Adelaide Oval, it's not an easy ground to exit if the opposition defend well. It's not overly wide. The pockets in the defensive 50s, it's not easy to get out.
Shields toe poke cleverly. Puopolo tried the back slap, didn't quite work. Burgoyne did toe poke, gets himself into a reasonable spot, goes without it. Clever by Cracker to Hartlett, to Wines. Almost cut off. Hodge went hard. Terrific stuff by Dixon. The handle a bit slick. He's got a bit of time, Dixon. Can he use it? It's a sloppy old kick again. It's a good player, Charlie, but he is burning the ball.
Lewis happy just to concede a few metres. Now Brown can run through centre half back proper. Out to the wing. Bit of a wait in the end for Hill. And closes. Did exactly what he needed to do.
Well, they did well there, Port Adelaide, because Hawthorn were out. They had Gibson loose. They didn't use him. They went for that longer option and Port were able to cover.
You feel stressed just looking at Clarko and Kent Hinkley. The pressure they must feel. Eamon did well. Westhoff quickly. A high ball. Gains 20 metres or so. Young, Need. They both collide. Ends up with Impey. To the running Amon. Now to Broadbent. Back inside to Young. Can he find another player? He can. The skipper. Now it's all about the bouncer. It's tough for Chad. Better for Gray. Will end up with Gray. Gray can finish. And he does. Level again.
And on that note, let's hear from Ken Hinkley at quarter time when he addressed the players.
A really hot start to the game. Probably the difference a little bit for us is we turned the ball over a couple of times. You know what? We can't afford not to keep going for those kicks. You know, we've got to just make sure that the risk is coming down when we get a choice in that. When that's not on, it's all right to get the territory going in the game.
So much talk. If someone said, how did Robbie Gray play the game? This is how he played the game. That's Robbie Gray to a T, isn't it?
Elusive. He's very, very hard to tackle. His lateral movement, his vision. He draws players. He looks like he's going to dish it off. Players go to where he's looking to dish it off. He holds onto it. He's very good at that. And Kenny Hinkley, turnovers.
Yeah, it's pretty simplistic, wasn't it? We're turning it over. We're not using it well going forward. We straighten that up and we're in the game.
McAvoy, Burgoyne, well done, Need, Trengove. Burne-Jones been impressive. Broadbent, normally a good user, Broadbent. Westhoff to run hard, doesn't quite get there. It's been a good response by Port because 2, 3, 4 minutes ago, Hawthorn really had them where they wanted them, didn't they? Scoreboard was ticking over their way, inside their forward 50. Port with at least one, probably 2 men down. I feel like there's been a bit of a change in the last 5 minutes in this match.
Mitchell and Mitchell. Howe searching for Sam Mitchell, can't keep it in.
Just on Robbie Gray, I reckon he was a pretty good basketballer as a junior. I reckon good basketballers are always great in traffic in AFL footy.
Scotty West,
yeah.
Pendlebury.
Yeah, and even Big Ruffy for a big man. Bontempelli.
So Trengove won the tap. Lewis the beneficiary. Now to Mitchell. At half back. That left of his, which he used so beautifully. Well done, Hartlett. Just held Puopolo in front, then drifted back, clean hands. Gray kicked the last, and he set up another. A lot of Port players. Young waits, Duray or bust. Duray did well. Howe had to take it clean. He was brilliant in the end as he made the effort to get rid of the football. Umpire says no.
Steady on, it's a free kick. It's a Port Adelaide free kick. Time back on. Clear out, guys. Doesn't matter. Mark's here. Once he drags it in, it must come out. No freeze. Move away, please. Move away. Chad, right out.
Makes me laugh sometimes. The ball was stuck between his legs, but he can't drag it back in.
I guess he had the option to hit it out to start with, but they had to score from that opportunity because they had Hawthorn outnumbered, didn't they? They had a couple out the back, but weren't able to get it there.
So Broadbent, well, not quite, but with that, Port back in front, 4th lead change of the night.
Got to wait for the signal.
And if you're going to beat Hawthorn, you have to kick those goals. I mean, 20 out directly in front, Richo.
set shots tonight, Wayne. 2-2 Port, 5 straight Hawthorn.
Yeah. And that may very well be the difference in the end. Scoreboard pressure's massive against this club.
Downfield, Hawthorn.
So against Dixon on Sam Mitchell, it was the right call. Gee, that's a good chase from from Amon, I should say, and he gave Hawthorn a bit to go on with. So little spot fires everywhere still going here.
Made deliberate.
Yeah, so against the Hawks. Who was it? I was watching the... Hodge, was it? So Hartlett's come back well, hasn't he? That mark a moment ago against Puopolo was telling. And Hartlett's kick to a contest. Dixon tried to crash the pack and a boundary throw in.
Yes, mate. Yes, over the line.
Amon's chase, Hawthorn took him on. If Hawthorn had got past him, he had Gunston one-on-one down the line, so good chase from Amon.
What a great shot. Full house, Adelaide Oval, as the ball tumbles back
Holding
into play.
Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell, Hawthorn. High on.
So Shields receives from Mitchell to Burgoyne. Did well. Took on great. Back to Shields. And who's at home for the Hawks? Bruce tries to muscle his in.
Holding.
Gave away the free kick. Bruce was trying to work his way back in front.
Been important cracker, hasn't he? Saved a lot of goals. That's a good 50-50 ball. He wins the contest.
What an extraordinary story Cracker is. 4 years for Port, 1 for the Suns, and then 3 in the Wilderness and the Goldfields, back through the SNFL. He works the ball to the wing. Frawley did well, strong. And the kick trickles over. An arm wrestle.
Yeah, Cracker's so good, Duck, because he's got the pace to go with the Bruce Puopolos and Rio. If he holds his nerve, then he's a huge bonus for Port. When I say hold your nerve, don't turn the ball over.
Even that little bump there on Poppy in a one-on-one, he gets a neutral ball.
Gray was good. Amon back to Gray. Gray building a nice match here. Young, normally clever Young with ball in hand. Well, Mitchell went without it. That was a pretty big mistake. The ball gets out in the back. Wingard misses Wines. Wingard takes them on. That's holding the footy and throwing it. Great tackle, Burgoyne.
Hawthorn.
Some great tackling going on.
Back a metre, back a metre.
Look at that, pinned the arm, no chance for a chap winger. Just to back up Duck, making the most of your opportunities. Only 5 marks inside 50 so far in this game. 3 to Hawthorn, 2 to Port. So if you do get a mark and a shot on goal inside 50 and you miss, it's going to hurt tonight. It's not going to be a lot of chances.
Well done, Lewis to Hodge, to Birchall, to Segler. I was thinking about Lewis as he worked it back to the man who he stood in for so long. If you're Alistair Clarkson, you're looking at your leadership group and thinking, how have I got such an extraordinary group of elderly statesmen playing for me?
And that's why some people calling for maybe a couple of these guys not to go on. Why would you? They're all still in such great form.
Segler, Howe, floats to the goal square. Well done, young Austin. Both in a good spot. Handball was good. Hartlett, you want to be quick. Shabby kick, but okay. Broadbent, brilliant to Hartlett. Then Hartlett with a bit of a chaos ball now. Gibson will have time. What sort of damage can he do? Gets to Birchall. Still plenty of time, one way or the other. It's been a terrific first half. Goals have got more difficult as the game's gone on. It's a lovely kick by Birchall. Running Smith. So they've spread it well here, Hawthorn. They haven't gained a whole lot. They've changed the angles. They've increased the pressure. Segler off that step. That's not such a good kick. Lewis. Bruce. Smith kept it in. And that's out before Boat kicked it, actually, but the umpire says it wasn't. I think it was over the line before Boat kicked it.
Yeah, I thought it was already out.
On the fence. On the fence, Jordan. On the fence,
No,
Jordan.
mate,
no.
Good call.
Good call.
So chance for Lewis here. Now he's, you know, if the siren had gone and he had to kick this to win it, I reckon he'd do it. He's a sharpshooter.
He's a big moment player. Happy just to be a bit player. Puopolo! He climbed over the top, the 360, and that is a nomination for sure. How often do you see the little man, like a sprinkler, just pop up from nowhere and do plenty of damage?
Well, these days they've got a couple that can do it. Cyril and Poppy just so good. Their vertical leap is incredible.
You can't believe he can do it so often. Another goal, and the Hawks are in front. Have you seen, Duck, a smaller player do it more regularly? I mean, Gary Moorcroft took that extraordinary grab, and Bruce said that'll be on CNN soon enough, and it was, but he didn't do it as often.
No,
This guy can.
and I've said many times this year that we're littered now with these smaller forwards that are just absolutely brilliant in the air and also on the ground. He's certainly one of those. And that's just all leap, isn't it? Just straight up, just so strong above his head, Poppy. Hasn't had a great night, hasn't had a lot of the footy. Important goal.
That helps, doesn't it? So 15 years yesterday was the anniversary of the Moorcroft famous market Eddie had. So back in front, the Hawks. Need read it okay off Hodge. Drawing a man. Hartlett. Poor kick again. Gee, Hodge. Started it all and then cut it off. One of the great readers. I'm not sure what book collection he's got, but he's one of the great readers. Lovely kick by Bruce. Hawthorn looked dangerous here. Howe. So in red time, the Hawks pressing hard, and definitely now Gunston, you think, will take his chances from here. Lewis did the right thing a moment ago. It wasn't after the siren, they weren't 5 points down, but this is what Gunston can do.
Yeah, we talk about Lewis. This man, we would want the ball in his hands. He's lovely kick of the ball.
Gee, this to give Hawthorn some breathing space before half-time. Not going to be a goal. What's going to happen? It won't be a score directly. Is it a mark? Not quite. Gee, Segler had a bit of it. And Hawthorn stretched that lead.
Boys, just a bit of confirmation down here. Brad Ebert has just ducked off to hospital now as a precaution. Obviously, he hit his head bad in that first quarter. A bit of concern about his ribs as well.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Soderstrom on the boundary tonight. Through legs. Gunston. Clever tap again. Burgoyne. This is dangerous for Port. Who's at home? Sicily front spot. Not quite. Gunston gets involved again. O'Shea rode him into the ground. Westhoff. A lot of the football tonight over the top of the skipper in Boak.
Hold zero.
So Port Adelaide led by 2 points at quarter time. 3 goals to 2 in favour of Hawthorn in the second term. Hawks by 1 straight kick. Brand knocks it away towards the boundary line. Eventually spills over. So Ebert out for the night.
Charlie, both of you.
Hartlett, fortunately, back on the ground after colliding with Gunston, and then after the Gunston collision, hitting the ground hard.
Bruce first there. Just thinking a moment ago, Hamish mentioned Brand. He's only in his 5th game. He's so important tonight because he's the big guy with Dixon so often. I mean, not doing a whole lot, but he physically is the right size for Charlie.
Yeah.
It's been another key, maybe going future for Hawthorn. Well done, Trengo, to Young. A little bit of an up and under. Hawthorn likely to be in front at half-time. Dixon getting it back. Boak, prolific, kicks to about half forward. Shaw's got that early goal, and Gibson belts it over the line. That's the anomaly in the rule, isn't it? I mean, that's deliberate out, but it can't be paid. We understand why, but maybe it will next year. I'm not sure. It's a tough one, but that's all Josh wanted to do.
Richo snuck downstairs. He's going to be speaking with Hamish Hartlett at half-time. Be fascinating to find out what went down in the rooms, what went on.
Didn't think we'd be talking to him 20 minutes ago with a fuzzy head. So Port just forward of centre. Been winning the taps, Hawthorn. Bruce, Mitchell, and then Mitchell getting as far as he can down that line. And that time, Westhoff doing exactly what Gibson did a moment ago and deliberately putting the ball over the line. So a lot of sparring done in the first half. A few big blows landed by both teams. Ebert a massive one for Port out. Puopolo's mark an absolute highlight. Wingard and Rioli as Bruce getting on to it. Breaking free. Maybe a possible chance. No. Smith's kick. And Rioli flying in from the side. So quarter time, it was Port narrowly. Rioli, he's been in so much here.
Back to you. Back to you. Back to your room.
So, not happy with Cyril Hodgie taking charge, but Hawthorn get back the lead.
It was said like a parrot, wasn't it? Back to your room.
And sort of obeyed as Mark Soderstrom's lingering now. Hamish Hartlett is the target. So it's Hawthorn by a goal. Hamish Hartlett, you spoke to him, Matthew, at half-time when he was coming off the ground. This was where he got crunched. How did he seem to you?
Yeah, look, he said himself, he said that he saw stars there for a minute, but he got the double whammy. He got the Gunston forearm into the head, then his head hit the ground on the other side. So, look, we know now that they go off the ground, they're very professional, they don't take any chances with concussion, but he was definitely dazed for a while. But you certainly wouldn't question the Port Adelaide medical staff.
And of course, they've got one man down, and it hopefully isn't as serious as look. But what is the latest, Mark, with Brad Ebert?
Look at the incident there, and he's come straight down onto it pretty hard, and the concern was pretty much immediately, Bruce, he started coughing up a little bit of blood, so they took him down to the umpires' rooms just adjacent to here on the wing and spent some time with him all through that quarter-time break before they could get him into the main room. So in hospital at the moment and clearly won't return, so they're going to be one down. Hamish Hartlett, of course, as you said, Richo, still pretty groggy. We watched him throughout that second term, and he was running around still to little dazed, but he's had more of the footy than any other Port player, so hopefully he can stay out.
Hawthorn's second halves have been remarkable. They haven't lost a quarter for a long time after half-time. I think in their last 5 matches have won every quarter after half-time. Haven't lost a third quarter for yonks. They've been so powerful in the back half of their matches in this run to the top spot.
Yeah, and there's plenty of upside there for them as well in this second half. Brad Hill hasn't seen any of the footy, or neither has Billy Hartung. So they're two of their top 3 runners. I guess Isaac Smith is in that group as well. Haven't really had any influence, Doug. If they get going and break the game open a little bit, gee, they will be hard to stop, especially knowing how well they go in second halves.
So 3 goals to 2 in the second term in favour of the Hawks. The third chapter of this story about to be written. Rioli immediately gets involved, went looking for Mitchell. Off the ground, out of the air, as he so often does, becomes effective. Puopolo the tackle.
Correct disposal, Hawthorn.
A big tackle follows a big mark late in the second term. So Rioli and Puopolo involved early.
Hawthorn.
And this a poor start for Port Adelaide.
John, it's outside. Can't see Kent. Excellent. Love it, dude.
So Segler already has 1 for the evening, just to make it a 2-goal ball game.
I reckon, Duck, as soon as a defender looks at you and not where the footy's coming from, you know that you've got them.
Yeah, you lose track and flight of the ball, and that's exactly what happened to O'Shea there. He panicked.
You've marked it inside the square so you can come straight in front.
This for goal 7 for Hawthorn, and every goal so far has been a set shot.
I think the umpire said marked it. He didn't mark it. It was a free kick.
Free kick in the goal square. Results in a goal. So Hawthorn by 12 points, early going in the third.
Puts him straight in front.
Talk about good recruiting. We spoke about Bruce being that rookie drafted player who's become such a weapon. Segler was shrewd recruiting, wasn't he? On the Pies list, couldn't get a run at it. Become so valuable.
He's a like for Hale. He reminds me so much of him. He moves like him. He goes forward. He's actually pretty good above his head, and he finishes really well. And that's something Hale did very well for over 200 games.
Absolutely. So this is the big lead of the match. You can Hawthorn by a couple of goals.
See Kane Mitchell on the wing here, the broadcast wing. He picks Sam Mitchell up after the centre clearance.
So Trengove not going for either the first 2 rucks, and Rioli was able to pick it off. This is a really good start for the Hawks. Mitchell, so second disposal for him in this term as well. Segler against you, Cracker, well done. He's been excellent,
Jordan,
Cracker.
let go, Jordan. Hold.
So A massive challenge for Port now. Cracker, good kick. Pittard was good early. Kinder in that second quarter. Kay Mitchell now, Boat running for him. It's a slow kick. And Hodge really hurt Boat there. Mitchell with a bit of a throw, to be truthful, but all okay. And that kick down the line, Sicily, well done by Cleary. And a boundary throw. Boat in big, big trouble here. A real corky by the look of it, isn't it? Or maybe in the hip.
Yeah. I think he might just be winded severely there. That is not nice.
He's straight into the...
Is that a free kick or not?
Well, it depends where the eyes are, I guess. You're allowed to compete at the ball in the air.
No, I don't think so.
Rioli now doing the rucking and the roving and the goaling. He rucked that contest, got to the fall of the ball, picked it up and almost kicked the goal. He's remarkable.
His recovery, as we speak about every week, is as good as anyone's. But going back with a flight, Hodgie takes his eye off it for a split second, but then takes it back to the ball and jumps at the ball, and you're allowed to do that. So that is completely fair.
Fair enough. So Port with some big problems. Burgoyne to full forward, and it's unravelling here as Hawthorn have tightened the screws. They've come out cold, Port, but Hawthorn have come out.
It's the old saying, as a kid, isn't it? The old premiership quarter, the third quarter.
Stay there, Ollie.
Not sure why is it the premiership quarter, Doug?
I think David Parker.
No idea, but
David Parker might have been the man that termed it that. And he's a smart guy, so we'll go with him.
Believe Parker.
So they keep kicking them from set shots. Bruce gets his second, and Hawthorn charge away.
It's Travis Boak. He's in a lot of strife there. So, gee, they'll be. If he can't come back, it's going to be really tough with Brad Ebert gone.
Unsociable footy, eh?
Well, it looked like he'd have the job on Hodge in this quarter. Now you can see there, off, on, then back onto the footy. So what he's doing there, Richo, as you know, he's trying to judge a footy through the air, so when to leap.
And when you launch for a mark,
you're allowed to put your knee
That's
up
your natural jump. That's his natural jump at a mark.
Well, so far in this term, 3 clearances to zip, 4 inside 50s to zip, 2 goals to zip.
And it's a contact game, and unfortunately that's going to occur from time to time.
Cracker with speed, comes off half-back, gets hold of the ball and then fires it to half-forward. Duray mops up, works it back to the wing. Well done, Sicily. We spoke about his clean hands, and again, they're on display. Wonderful kick inside. Smith to Mitchell to Hill, who's got the pace. He can run to 50, lowers the eyes and hits the little champ.
That is a horrible place to be if you're a defender, when you've got a player like Brad Hill running through dead centre of the ground. As you'll see here, the handball received, dead centre of the ground. There's no defender in the comp that can stop Cyril Rioli there. It's an easy turnaround hit up lead.
So Rioli, can he add to his 2? Of course he can. 3-2 for the night, and it's out to an ugly 25-point lead early in the third. We talked about Hawthorn's ability to score, and we know Lee Matthews' theory. I reckon if there was going to be an exemption with the theory, it'd be against Hawthorn. Lee always says as long as there's more minutes than goals, I reckon at Hawthorn you almost have to halve it. They can go that quickly.
Yeah. It's been their great strength, just putting the pedal down to the floor when they need to, blowing teams off the park in no time.
As Cyril gets his third for the night, the Hawks take the lead out to 25 points, and concerns on the bench for both sides right now. Travis Boak, the skipper's gone down for a break after copping a knock, and for Hawthorn, Liam Shields has got the jacket on at the back of the bench, and he didn't do the warm-up after half-time, so his night looks like he'll be in trouble too.
So that's one we didn't know about. So Shields, let's have a look. Pinned to the wall. Segler to Bruce. And then Bruce almost running out. Rioli nearly, but brought it down to Young.
Ball went out of bounds. Ball went out of bounds.
Boundary back. Yeah, the boat one. I mean, Ebert. Just the internal thing with Ebert looked a bit right. With boat too, I mean, just the spleen area and things like that. I mean, he could be in a bit of trouble there, but so Bruce just out of play.
If you're just winded, you know you're just winded, but he's been taken down into the room, so they must be concerned about something else internally there.
So Ebert in hospital, Boak in the rooms, Hartlett back out onto the ground, but he was groggy early. He's around the place at the moment. Cracker will get there first while he fires it back through. Umpire says all clear. So 26, the margin. They're walking a tightrope, not just tonight, but this is their year.
Well, Alistair Clarkson's words during the week about this match and about what might happen and how Hawthorn might attack the game. And we're seeing great evidence of it here. Gunston to centre half forward. The danger spot. Westhoff building away. Burgoyne, Cleary. Burgoyne toe poking, wanting Bruce in a boundary throw-in. Good call from the ump. Burgoyne had Bruce to his side. So Port can't get it out of the back 50. They can't win a clearance on a centre bounce. And Hawthorn have got away to a 4-goal lead.
So 7-1 in terms of inside 50s in this third term. Young almost got boot to ball, then Bruce arrived. Lewis, terrific, very quick by hand. Burgoyne, Smith, Hartung, little paddle to himself, measures things. It's offline, it's falling short. And in the end, Logan Austin, in just his 5th game, punches it through. How do they respond here, Port? Soldiers down and wounded.
And there's Josh Gibson now. We saw Hodge back there before as the general. Now Gibson's back there. He does it as well as most as well. It's going to be hard to get through.
Absolutely. Here is Charlie Dixon. And there you go, Matthew. Straight to that man. So it's been played on Hawthorn's terms completely now. Frawley spreading it wide, so uncontested marks for Hawthorn, which is a trademark as they build. Lewis to Duray. Well, they don't do it normally like that. That's a big miss. And Cleary takes it. He belts it wide. Now, Port gets some bounce off half-back. Gray's handball. Burne-Jones. Well, too slow. Great tackle. Gray tapped it up cleverly to Mitchell, to Hartlett. And then Hartlett, well, he's just going to hope this goes out of play. Doesn't, though. Ball stays in. Frawley to mop up. Back they go. They know the general's back there, and they're going to kick it to him.
So short to Skipper, formally, I should say, and then just wide to McAvoy. So all the momentum now with Hawthorn.
And they've got it exactly how they want it now. Now they just play this uncontested mark game.
Just freewheeling, doing as they please now with Port Adelaide. Long ball to half forward. Cleary did well. Gunston just had hold of his arm, knocked it away, and then followed up. Ensures it stays over.
You're so right, Richo. They're on cruise control now. They've got it exactly how they want it. Players behind the footy, uncontested marks, just controlling the play.
So 6 goals to 2 since quarter time.
It's up to Port now to change what they're doing. They've got to set up differently. They can't allow the loose, and they've got to take the game on. They're very good at that when they do that.
Gray battling hard, Need outnumbered. Just knocked it back, Trengove. And this is a small chance, perhaps, for Port. Dixon. At full stretch, a one-on-one deep inside 50.
Josh!
Nothing else really doing. Schultz and Frawley.
They did stretch it out then, and they did get some one-on-ones. So they manned it up one-on-one and got a contest.
So Hawthorn flood back, low ball, Schultz, Lewis, corrals, Need, knocks it forward, Impey, clever little turn, got out of trouble, onto the left, a bit of a wait in the end, Westhoff, Frawley, Westhoff, goal! Brilliant, they needed that. They've got it. They're first to the term. With Hawthorn are making it look easy, Port are scrapping and fighting, but they are still just alive. 21 points.
Well, it's the first time they've gone forward, Richo, certainly in this quarter, where exactly that. They got some one-on-ones. They didn't allow the loose player, so you're at least half a chance.
Only
going to beat one man, and if you've got two, makes it all difficult, especially against this side. Probably a bit lucky there not to give away the free kick, Westhoff, but they're getting one-on-ones, and that's what's important. Get one-on-one, don't allow Gibson and these guys to be third man up to half a chance, and that's a good sign for Port Adelaide there, Boak on the bench walking around.
Absolutely. So Westhoff's goal gives Port a bit of hope, but this is where they're getting slaughtered in this quarter. And centre clearances, Mitchell again, McAvoy nearly. Pittard good there. Another Port Adelaide player down. I think it's Amon. Ball not out and the ball up. Is that Amon? Not sure.
Hey, relax.
Austin.
Careful.
It's Austin, young Austin.
Relax.
He's
Hold up.
wobbly too.
Take your time.
21 tomorrow, the kid. So the captain back on.
As we see, Logan Austin just down chatting with the medical staff. Travis Boak's just come back on, so that big cheer was for the skipper, back from that knock from Hodge.
Puopolo just fumbles and couldn't quite take it clean. He just paddled it forward, but never really took control. Pittard, long ball. Well, Logan Austin in trouble here. Might end up having the ball knocked in his direction. Oblivious to it all. Westhoff kicked the last for the power to Wines. Back it goes to Hart, in trouble earlier tonight. Seems to have recovered well. And Gibson, as he's been doing for so long, reads it beautifully in the air. Now back to Hodge.
50 metres.
Well, that's a few jeers.
I reckon Neat was worried because he knew that Hodge had Frawley and Smith out the other side to switch it.
Time back on. Yours.
Hodge waits it pretty well. In the end, Broadbent knew what was happening. He's dropped in front of Rioli. So can they put two together after the Hawks got the first three in this third term? Hawks by 6 at half-time. Segler, Bruce Rioli, Westhoff narrowed the gap a little. 21 points the margin as Impey works his way out of a tackle. Trengo receives, gives, Wines, went low, missed his target. Frawley, very clean. McAvoy, Hodge, waits it over the top. Well, Hill had to wait, missed it. Need went and got it. Now to Wines. Over the top, Wingard works onto his left. Can he weave some magic? Pittard on his left. Now he's right. He doesn't like that side as much. Falls short. And Hodge again reads the play so well. Drops back into the right spot at exactly the right time.
He's playing a remarkable match, the captain. Howard takes them up just inside the line. Port fans calling for it out. Smith off the burst, lovely looking kick. Cracker's been so good.
Not a bad free kick to give away though, because it's held Hawthorn up for long enough to get some numbers back.
So Stratton, so where does he go? Does he go short balls? Does he sit it up for a big mark? Does the sit up. Segler launches. Well done, Young, getting back. Port just hanging on, but they are hanging on for the minute, aren't they?
There's just a couple of those, once again, going for those poor decisions, giving a handball when they should kick, or kicking it when they should handball it.
Move it on.
They just got too cute with a moment ago, didn't they? So Burn-Jones wanting a Trengove mark. Wingard coming over the back, threw it out. Need, Mitchell, Hartlett, that's some good ball movement. Young broke the tackle.
Did well, took on the tackler, believed in himself, then low ball Westhoff. You heard the umpire, not 15, or buff ball. I think he's saying...
Relax. That's what I saw, Justin. Abuse. Hawthorn. Abuse.
Well, a couple of decisions going against Westhoff there. The judge not to have marked the ball, and then abuse. Hawks end up the footy Hawthorn. 27 games in 3 premiership years, yet to play on the big occasion and be able to call himself a premiership player. To Giray, who's at home. Segler, McAvoy, to ground the ball goes. Young was clean, went looking for Darcy Burn-Jones, found him immediately under pressure, did well. Broadbent just got boot to ball. Boak, Wines, Broadbent again, tackle immense, pressure immense. Gunston off to Howe.
Tackle, Hawthorn.
Advantage, it'll be brought back. it is no wriggle room for Port Adelaide.
He was very frustrated, Westhoff, obviously, because he did take the mark. The umpire was blinded by Gibson and Westhoff. Gee, you can't be emotional out there, can you? I guess the swear word gives it away.
Great pressure from the Hawks. So from set shots tonight, haven't missed their 9 out of 9 set shots tonight. And there you go. 9 out of 10. It's done okay, Howe. Yeah, it's a tricky one for Westhoff. I mean, his frustration's there, but it's a big, big turnover for Port, isn't it? It changes everything. So he owes them one. I like this young fella. Brand, off a step. And a great...
Oh, Howley takes a magnificent mark. Poppy move over.
Cyril, it's a ball up, hit the ground, mate.
It hit the ground.
Ball up here, throw her up. Throw her up here.
Oh, you're kidding. That's a mark. Isn't it?
Oh,
He had it longer than Ablett.
he did have it longer than Ablett, so no.
Okay, Poppy, don't move over. You're still number 1. It's a boundary throw-in.
That is the best mark not been taken.
I reckon he's controlled that.
Ought to be a mark.
Held it for a while, didn't he?
Yeah.
Surely you have a sense of theatre. Oh. Well, Hodge going nowhere. Tackler's on from Cracker.
You could argue that hands on the shoulders a little. Couple of hands on the shoulders. But I thought he almost held it long enough.
Not a mark.
So it's not a mark.
That was in slow motion.
Yeah.
You know it's a block.
I'll
It's a
tell you
clear
what, it
block.
was a good decision by the umpire.
Yeah, it was.
It's a clear block. No, it's a clear block for the third man up. Mark's here.
15 seconds.
Keep going, keep going. Go to him, go to him.
So clear block. O'Shea getting in front of McAvoy. McAvoy trying to open his account for the night. Jack at left.
Charlie Dixon's being attended to down here as well. So we have a look there. They called that against O'Shea for the block.
Geez, so much happening here, eh?
Still disappointed about Cyril's mark.
So Hawthorn missing a few here, but they've got a good lead. Shorts, quiet after that opening goal. Boat, Need, held on to free kick. Sort of feel like Need and Impey are the guys that
Here, Hawthorn.
so against Dixon, is it? Silly stuff by Port here.
Been a lot of those.
Yeah. So Hawthorn getting a lot of free kicks from...
Angle, mate. Hold,
Well,
line.
I didn't see it, so I can't say it's undisciplined, but it's off the ball.
Holding Port Adelaide where the ball is. Where the ball is.
So now it's coming back
It's against you, Cyril. It's
for Dixon to have a free kick.
a free kick.
I think he said against Cyril.
Ball's in the pocket. Charlie.
Rioli's been emotionally involved tonight. We've talked about that.
Your free kick here.
That was the original one. Then it's gone in, and Rioli's given one away, so it's coming back.
So we're back to where we were with Dixon.
Well, they've kicked 4 of their goals tonight from free kicks, the Hawks.
So a lot of huffing and puffing in the last few minutes, but not much has happened. Dixon short to Hartley.
Hold there.
Port need another goal, don't they? They need at least one more, probably 2, but at least one more without a Hawthorn reply to give themselves some hope, you think, at three-quarter time.
So if you've just joined us, Ebert in hospital. Internal bleeding, we think. Austin going through the motions on the boundary line after a big hit. Hartlett has had a concussion test.
So after that initial burst from Hawthorn, it's been 10 minutes since Westhoff kicked his goal.
So the Hawks got the first 3, Segler, Bruce Rioli, and then Westhoff at the 12-minute mark. The margin, 23. Can the Power get the next? Still plenty of time in this third term. Do they have the manpower? Can they catch up to and pass the Hawks? Well, low margin ball, dangerous now. Puopolo looks for Burgoyne, finds him. Hart, the tackle is strong, needed to be. O'Shea thwarted by Cyril. Cyril goes again, knocks it wide. Hill back inside. Burgoyne, Smith, high up and under. A wait. It's okay. Cyril, Hill, Burgoyne, all doing magical things. In the end, Need required to take it cleanly. Was good. Bruce, though, intercepts. Bruce. Broadbent again playing the role of sweeper.
Gee, I feel like they haven't hit any of those passes through the corridor out of their defensive 50, have they?
No, they've been nervous, Port. Has Dixon been worked on? They really have.
He's only a young man, Austin, but
yeah,
he's been the culprit a few times tonight.
Early tonight. And you feel like Hawthorn didn't just want to come here and win tonight. They wanted to come here and leave a mark. Both physically, I think, and mentally. This was personal. And we're feeling a lot of that through this match tonight, I think. It's not over, by the way.
It's not over because it's a low-scoring game, but since quarter time, it's 29 inside 50s, Hawthorn to 9, Port Adelaide.
And that's not going to work for the Power, is it? Particularly how efficient Hawthorn can be inside 50. Mitchell building a good third quarter. Well done there by Austin at the back. Mitchell again.
Push in the back, Hawthorn, advantage!
So Burgoyne to hammer it over.
Too far.
Oh, he's run too far.
50 metres, too far, your kick, and 50.
Gee,
it's hard to keep up here.
This, I'm not sure if it's being over-umpired or it's been correctly umpired, but you feel like the umpires are having a very big part of the third quarter. It might be all good decisions, but you feel like
15 steps.
Did he run too far?
15 steps, each step you're at least going a metre, so it's probably a good call by the umpire. They don't get called a lot though, do they? A lot of players run that far every week.
Hold there. Don't go forward. Play on.
So the last goal, 12 minutes ago, was the Westhoff goal after Segler, Bruce and Rioli got the Hawks off to a flyer. Port by 2 points at quarter time, Hawks by 6 at the long break. And Port suddenly have a big essay to write.
Move it on. Play on.
Down the wing, big fly from Gibson. Happy just to knock it forward. Buys about 30 or 40 metres. Puopolo again just looks to tap it in the direction of a teammate. It was Mitchell. Aim on, brilliant. Here they go. Cracker can take a bounce. Signals, directs, kick. Well, offhand, still a chance. Wingard, will he take it himself? Wingard owns the moment. He's got 3. They're still within touch.
Well done, Port Adelaide. They've had to, as it's on again, little Kane Mitchell involved. They had to soak up a lot of pressure in their defensive 50. They finally got someone out, Cracker down this side of the ground, and Wingard showed his class and composure there to finish.
Wasn't a bad duo running into an open goal, was it? Yeah. Wingard and Gray. Well, they got it into a guy that's had a really good game in Cracker. He's used it well. Drew the 3. Now, that's why Port had 2 players on the ground. And that's a great duo to have running towards goal, isn't it? Wingard and Gray.
Absolutely.
You knew they were going to make it play, didn't you?
Exactly. They were never going to muck that up.
So 3-5 to 2 goals this quarter. Port.
Block, Hawthorn.
Gee, there's been a lot of free kicks in this quarter. So Segler.
Well, having an influence, as you said, the umpires.
So Segler having a very, very good night.
Play on.
To Brand to fall forward. Puopolo, big fly. Young Rioli, goal. How clever was that? Rioli threw the ball to Burgoyne, goal.
Well, Duck, you said it before, they have more of those tap-ons than any team in the comp.
They're brilliant.
To see it again, but it was his tap. He created that.
Yeah, no, they're...
Oh, magic.
Hits to advantage, and they're understanding. That's footy smarts. That's knowing I can't take possession here. I hit it to the advantage.
Again, that centre clearance free kick, huge, isn't it?
have a look to get the contest from the little man in Poppy. And look at that. Look how clever that is from Rioli. They are the best easily.
And Burgoyne's hands, that was going pretty crisply to him, and clean as a whistle, he grabbed it.
Yep.
So that Hawks, look at that ladder. The difference between a win and a loss tonight. Gray through the centre.
Low ball, they need it, they're desperate for one. Dixon, he's been quietish tonight. Wingard just pulled off the football. Duray buys some territory, bouncing ball. Well, Cleary was there, Sicily kept it in. Gunston, brilliant, back to Sicily. Then he works his way out of trouble to half forward. Puopolo, front spot, out the back O'Shea. Fumbled the football. Puopolo still in the contest. Puopolo did well, boot to ball, Bruce. Low ball, might just skip on through. Back to the Rioli. You almost need to have a stat. It should be called the Rioli. How many Riolis did you have? 7. 6 to advantage.
Wingard taking a little dive there, maybe tiny free kick there, but oh yeah, no. You're speaking to the devoted when you're speaking about Cyril, aren't you, to us? So Port going down the middle. Mitchell's had a huge influence in this quarter. Again, that little tap back. They're the cleverest footy team I think we've ever seen. Frawley's kicked to centre half forward. Rioli made the contest, split the pack. Sicily goes. Hawthorn get away again.
He's a nice player, Sicily. That was a sharp finish. I don't think I've seen a game for a while where I've seen the small players being the dominant
in the air
contenders in the air in Hawthorn's forward 50. They're just they've had to adapt this year because they haven't got the big go-to player there. But geez, everyone's chipped in, competes in the air as well. That was another contest from Rioli. And everyone, when it's their turn to go in the air, they go. It's their turn at ground level, they go. And the unsociable stuff continues here.
So Sicily gets his first, and he has become another sharp and dangerous instrument in the Hawks' forward 6. He continues to charge at the scoreboard week in, week out. His first after having a big fortnight.
Relax.
Another concern for Port Adelaide in terms of injuries. Charlie Dixon's been off the ground for a little while, just getting some assessment on his back. He's come back in a couple of hard contests, and the big fella's struggling to station down at full forward.
Gray through hands, Stratton didn't take it cleanly. Chance now for Brand. Trengove ends up with the football, works it wide. Impey had it, lost it. Stratton tried to get boot to ball, did, but ball just ricochets back, and Brand underneath all of that.
So Mitchell, the meat and the sandwich there. Came up feeling his face and head. Westhoff got around the back. Howe. Ball squirts out. Boat can't get a kick onto it. Smith gets it a little bit away. Gray, brilliant move. And kicks to full forward. Trengove goes very early. Gibson at the back. Comfortably over the back to Stratton. Frawley to provide the run. Hawthorn get out, but he doesn't get it far. Tricky ball. Cleary did okay. Tucked it on the arm. Now, can he find a target? There's a lot of Hawks down there. Young front spot, ghosting across. Frawley's give was okay. Gibson gets a pretty good kick away to centre wing free kick against Port Adelaide. Against O'Shea. He's given a few away in this quarter. And it's Burgoyne. And Dixon really wounded here in the back.
So Burgoyne at 33, just continuing to impress and do everything right. To Brand, the youngster, grew up in South Australia, a Berry boy. Ends up with Lewis, bullets the ball to Howe. Hodge leads Hartland to the ball, so 20 seconds to play. Hawks came in leading by 6 at half-time. They've stretched that out to a 5-goal lead. Long ball, big fly from McAvoy in front. Couldn't quite take it. Mitchell, can he give? He's so clever. Time against him. It's over the top. It's in the pocket. It is out of bounds on the full. So that'll be it for the third term, and Hawthorn will take a healthy lead into the last term. 5 goals to 2, the last 2 of the term. Westhoff and Wingard brought it back to within 17 points then. Burgoyne and Sicily the last two. Hawks by 5 goals at the last break.
So well placed here to maintain their grip on top spot and have a cosy 2-match lead over the comp at the end of tonight. The first round, well, we've had a full round for 4 weeks. They've been magnificent, the Hawks. They've won the centre clearances in dominating fashion. Hodge and Mitchell, so much part of that. No mark there. Constant searching for a back. Spills out. Westhoff turning, twisting. Not a great kick. Oh, Lewis was magnificent. Eyes on him, takes the mark. The great accumulator, isn't he, Jordan?
Play on.
Back he goes. So Hawks with a cushion.
Got Mitchell behind me. Play on.
So Frawley wide. How have you seen Brand tonight?
Play on.
Duck Richo, youngster, 5th game. Been on the list for 3 and a bit years now and starting to find his feet with a strong body.
He's looked comfortable, hasn't he? He's had a big job most of the night on Dixon. As we have a look at that mark, that stood under that for a long time. That's kept his eyes on it. Clever mark.
Back a metre.
Free kick to McAvoy there, pushed out of the play by Westhoff. Through the eyes of the umpire. Now Smith runs the boundary, brings it back inside, front spot Gray. Hartlett feeds Mitchell, over the top it goes, back to Gray. How do they manufacture the first? Low ball, clean hands Dixon. He was in trouble in the 3rd term. So too is this man, Boak. Need or nothing. In the end, the man that we've just been speaking about, Caden Brand, goes back, kick to his advantage, strong hands. The 22-year-old just contemplates the next move.
Yeah, he's looked comfortable, hasn't he, as I was saying before, but that's just a poor kick by the Port Adelaide captain, Boak.
Young the flyer, Gunston doing the roving with Amon.
It's a good size too, Brand. 198 centimetres for a key defender. That's going to compete with most forwards in the comp.
I was speaking to the club and they said he was ready to go last year and he broke his shoulder in the NAB Cup at Launceston and spent the year fixing that up.
Showing good signs, isn't he? So Segler building the ball high. Rioli reading it well and then darting around and then going as far as he can. Sicily and McAvoy, big boy Nilly. Pittard clever, well done, doesn't complete control. Burgoyne back to Puopolo. Puopolo's high ball. Hills at the back could be dangerous here. And then cleverly tried to get it over the back and then Cleary, not sure what he was doing. Puts Austin under pressure. Ball squirts out the back. Cracker's been good for most of the night. Hawthorn wrap it up, ball up. So Port, a severe test. It's the ultimate examination, isn't it? And it has been for a while now. It's a remarkable football team. McAvoy and Westhoff. Puopolo and Pittard. Burgoyne's toe poke takes the ball over the line. Oh, gee.
Stick it out, mate.
No real argument from Burgoyne, so Gray.
Saves all his energy for doing brilliant things, doesn't he? Burgoyne doesn't get too flustered too often. Happy just to let the play roll. Brand just drifted, couldn't take it cleanly. Hodge pushed it forward, gets it back in the end from Duray, and then to half forward, going back with it, Rioli. Brilliant in the end, just continues on, sees his man, hits him, laces out.
Well, he was
That's it.
up and about early, involved in a lot of the argy-bargy and a bit of lip out there. I reckon it got him going. I don't reckon I'd be lipping Cyril Rioli in a game.
He jumps between 2 power players, doesn't miss a beat, sees Gunston, allows him to run onto the footy.
Just reckon he's a player you don't want to get involved in anything.
Don't kick a sleeping lion, do you? Gunston is offline. 1-1 for Jack tonight. So another challenger for the Hawks and seemingly another victim.
Well, Ken Hinkley said at three-quarter time that we've got to get going early. Hasn't happened. Smith's hands are good. Hartung back inside. Hodge has been outstanding. Down the line, Gray chasing hard with Hill. Hill toe poking, not getting a far boat. Gray clever. Broadbent gets it to Amon. Side kick okay to Westhoff. Now, this is where Port have had the problems. Just finding targets, making the right call. Slow to Pittard. Pittard to Amon. Hawthorn just covering the area so cleverly, efficiently.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get that slingshot run going from half-back tonight.
Well done by Stratton. That free kick to Dixon. Hasn't had a big influence, Charlie, has he?
He's competed hard. It's been a tough night. He hasn't. They haven't used the ball well to him, but he's had a lot of 2-on-1s, and that's just a chopping of the arm the umpires played there. But you can't criticise his endeavour tonight.
Long ball into the pocket, out the back, Young. A lot of Hawks about him. Brand, the youngster we've been speaking about, Impey, had it just momentarily, gets it this time. And then the check side to the top of the square. Segler, Frawley, Gray, Sicily. Tackled. Did he have the footy? Holding the ball. It's in good hands. Just to bring it back under 5 goals.
Time back on.
Gray's got one for the night.
That's it.
This will be his 23rd touch. He's had an extraordinary couple of seasons.
No, it's got to be 10. That's it, yeah.
This to keep things alive. 15 minutes to play. So Gray's got 2. The margin, a tick over 4 goals. Time's okay, margin's not too serious, but just the way they've been playing, it's going to be a real struggle to get them quickly, but
They got the first one.
got the first.
He's played pretty well, hasn't he? He hasn't been a star, but he's been good.
2 goals, 23 disposals, still a fair bit of this last quarter to go. They just need to win all of these clearances now. Can't let Hawthorn own the territory battle moving forward first.
So Gray with a couple. Hawthorn sitting atop the competition as they have for the last 3 seasons at the beginning of October or end of September. So
You've seen a lot of footy, Bruce. Have you ever seen a top 8 like it is at the moment?
no, it's the most interesting ladder you've ever seen. I mean, you could salivate over those numbers for ages. All those 10s, and there'll be some 11s on the weekend. It's superb. Gray down low, doesn't quite get it out. It'll be a fascinating run home. Just trying to work out who's top 4 and who's not. Gee, well done though by Segler. Gunston getting it. That's Hawthorn. That's Hawthorn to a T.
I've made goals out of nothing tonight. Hasn't been a night where they've had clean service inside 50, marking the ball on the lead. It's just been all this sort of stuff. Duck, you've talked about it a lot, but that was Segler. That was brilliant by him then, in the air.
He's really becoming something, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's just parked himself down there at full forward now. There's that tap. LeBron would have been happy with that.
It's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
So that's just made something out of absolutely nothing there.
So again, Hawthorn respond. Wingard in the 3rd kicked a goal. Burgoyne within 15 seconds. And then Gray kicks a goal and Gunston replies immediately. It's like breaking at Wimbledon against Federer, and then he just breaks your back straight away. Soul-destroying stuff. So Wines to half forward. Need. Howe, a couple of youngsters. Need. Not quite the second time. The big bull ends up with the football, and the youngster grabs hold of Dixon and drags him to ground.
Okay, thanks.
How in this group that's just trying to hold his spot as he runs towards September and taste what so many of the teammates have already done before him.
It'll be a hard team to get into for a couple of blokes. Wines, Gray. Kane Mitchell's kick to centre half forward. Oh, Amon!
Push.
So the free kick against Brand, I think, for a push. Amon was the big flyer.
Yes.
He missed a very easy shot in the opening term. Was it Smith the push? Okay. Just getting word that Smith was... Yeah, it is. You can see that. So pushing Amon in. Amon, does he get it home? He does. So Port ticked the board over.
He's done a few nice things tonight, Amon.
He's a good kid with an incredible backstory, and
on the other side, so
he's courageous. He's been courageous all through his life, to be truthful, and eyes for the ball. The irony is that they're nailing their shots now. They didn't nail them early, did they?
Bit of the pressure off, maybe. Jeez, that was fearless, wasn't it?
Yep. Well picked up by the umpire there to see he was always going back. Just had a little helping hand, so good decision.
This time Segler, clear win, decisive. Gray there first, Burgoyne. Well, he just continues to do what is required of him. 33, 34 in October. So one of these 30-pluses that we keep talking about, Hodge, Burgoyne, Mitchell, Gibson. Mitchell gets the contract to ensure a 16th season eventuates. Pittard, Impey had it, taken high. And he does play on quickly. So Shea on the wing on the broadcast side. Into the pocket. Schultz has been quite the first of the night. Dixon, he still hasn't really been able to do as much as he'd like. Hasn't troubled the scorers yet. Amon kicked the last. Mitchell kicked one last week. It's trickling. There's the janitor just cleaning up when cleaning's required. Gibson. Seemingly always in the right spot, the right time.
He'd be the best looking janitor in Australia, Gibbo, wouldn't he?
Gibbo does not clean any toilets. That's it.
So, Port, much to admire about the way they've gone about this last quarter. Mitchell out on the full, so unlucky there. So Boat, Cracker and Young all lined up. Of course, they're one man down. Hawthorn with a comfortable lead. Port 2 goals away from really making it interesting. Burne-Jones kicked to half forward. Dixon, well done, Segler. Winds off the step, Hawthorn left, right and centre. Birchall gets back and takes the mark. Just missed the consistency, Birchall, isn't he?
He went into the Tasmanian Football Hall of Fame last Friday night, Grant Birchall.
Oh, that's great stuff and well-deserved.
Rioli, he'll be a Hall of Famer himself soon enough. Burne-Jones, Bruce, Hill comes and supports. Impey arrives late. Just Bruce on the 30-pluses. Duck alluded to them before. Mitchell and Burgoyne 34 in October. Gibson and Hodge 33 next year. Can you see all 4 of them playing their role next year?
All go on.
All go on?
All go on. You go off the back of form. You're a long time retired.
Mitchell's locked in. What do you think, Bruce?
No, I'm with Wayne, but it may depend on where they finish at the end of the year. In that 4th premiership, but they're all playing well enough at the moment to be automatically picked, aren't they? And providing so much. O'Shea, good tackle, Gunston. They might be in trouble here.
1-2, holding it in. 2 Port Adelaide guys holding it in. No genuine attempt. Yes, please. Jack.
Gunston's finishing strongly. Kicked a couple. One in the first and one in the last.
Dad Ray was in 1A on the way over. Situated right up the pointy end he was.
This young fella?
No, Jack's dad was.
Oh, his father, well. So 3 goals for the night for him. Hawthorn get to that 5-goal margin.
Talking about the 30-pluses, Macca, it's been a big week for 30-plus, isn't it? Big night for Serena and Venus. Roger Federer is still around.
There's such an old group in the semi-finals, left, right and centre, both the males and the females. But look, and answer your question, it might depend on where they finish, whether they finish top or not, as to how many go back on. But they're all good enough to go on, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. My understanding there's been discussions, but they're looking good at the moment.
So holding the ball.
So he did not have a chance to handball it.
Jump with the footy.
He was moved. I don't know how he could have got it out, really. I mean, it's a tough one, that one.
His teammate had it as well.
I know, it just makes it hard. I don't know how he was trying to wriggle out of it.
So Gunston joins Rioli with 3.
I reckon that's just a ball up there. Anyway. I mean, you could say that was holding the ball in.
I think 40,000 Port fans are right now, don't you?
Yeah, they're not happy. So it's a bit inconsistent there sometimes.
Jarman Impey gets away from Burgoyne, runs into Lewis, and Burgoyne gets him in the end.
I don't think either of them were really. Got to have prior opportunity.
Josh, stay behind, Josh!
What a side they are.
Josh!
And you feel there's so much upside with Hawthorn there. 11-3, they're about to tick over to 12-3, and for the night at least, be a couple of games clear on top of the ladder. Cracker. Cleanly. Wingard. Long weight. Gibson tackled immediately. You think they've done what so many thought was nigh on impossible in this socialist environment. 3 in a row. Quite possibly. Well, they're as well positioned as anyone to complete Mission Impossible, aren't they?
Well, they've given themselves a chance by the look at it. Top 4's requirement. You'd think they didn't do that last year, but they overcame an early first week defeat, which just doesn't happen, doesn't it? They went to Perth twice, so...
Done them all with problems too. It's not like they haven't had injuries along the way. Obviously, Ruffy hasn't played this year. Hodge has had his injuries. I mean, they just keep bringing people in and they keep getting the job done.
And a few of the teams that are in the 8 have got scar tissue when it comes to Hawthorn. GWS don't have scar tissue. They could be the interesting ones.
Hold, Charlie, play on!
There's only 3 sides, Macca, that have beaten the Hawks the last couple of times they've played them. The Paras won. They're about to lose the Giants and the Brisbane Bears, and the Bears won't be playing finals.
No. The Bears turn into a line. Have their hearts hung quietish tonight. Goes long. Gunston, big fly. McAvoy. Poppy's going to get a second goal. He does, and Hawthorn get it to a 6-goal lead. Well, what a return. We talked pre-match about their forwards. Well, 3 to Gunston, 3 to Rioli, 2 to Bruce, 2 to Puopolo, and 1 to Sicily. It's the perfect return, isn't it?
All chip in. Don't need one guy to kick 6 or 7. It's all kick 2 or 3 each. The perfect scenario that you want as a forward line group.
This is just a really good contest from McAvoy. So he crashes a pack. Poppy just reads the flight over the back. But talk about their spread of goal kickers and the evolution of those goal kickers. It happened when they lost that grand final. And Alistair Clarkson said, we're too reliant on Buddy Franklin. And they made some real changes from that point on. Now they don't rely on anyone.
Here's Rioli. Lewis's kick's just going to slide over on the outer side. Umpire will.
And they're all like...
It's deliberate.
They all can fly for marks. They can all rove it. They can all put pressure on.
They're all accurate too, Richo. Gunston came in with 33-16. He's kicked 3. Bruce with 31-17. He's kicked a couple. Rioli with 26-7. He's kicked 3. Puopolo 25-10. And Sicily 22-12. Cracker. Out to Broadbent, who almost had mark of the year taken on him earlier tonight. Runs out of options down the line, so back to Cracker, and then he's short over the top to O'Shea. Long ball down the line. Segler managed to get a hand onto it, almost a second chance, and Schultz almost sees the footy again, but he's been quiet.
So these were the guys we talked about pre-match. We've added the goals. 11 goals between the 5 of them tonight. They've done exactly the job you guys talked about pre-match.
Yeah. And just so hard to match up on because of that ability in the air and on the ground. You know, they're not... Just can't be a one-trick pony anymore.
So Gray to Tringo. Tringo wobbling forward. Stratton takes the mark. And the other thing about Hawthorn in the last half a dozen matches they played before the bye, they've become very hard to score against. Very, very difficult. I think 69 points has been the average in those matches. Pitt over the charts. Well, he had a couple of very easy options, and he took it upon himself to have a shot. When had he kicked the goal, he would have been very clever.
Yeah, Young was in the square on his own, waving his arms around, but I just don't think he saw him then. And probably was within his rights to have a shot at goal.
On the run. Yeah, he's a good kick normally.
Frawley. A couple of tall men. Well, McAvoy plays tall because he is. Sicily plays tall because of his leap. In the end, it's McAvoy with the height. Inboard to Lewis. Mitchell used his body perfectly. Boat came at him, just
Robbie, right on it.
arched his back, used his hip. Clean take. Hawthorn. Duray. Again, out the back, Segler works his way in front. Rioli, dangerous position. Cracker over the top. Almost for Cleary. Now, little give. Thought about it to Hodge. Tackle was on. Held onto the footy too late. The advantage is taken. Amon. Now to Mitchell. Nothing in front of him. And then Schultz drifts inside 50. Mitchell waits for him. Kick is okay inside. Amon will play on. Over the top. It's well weighted. So Schultz will kick the first and have a look at his second.
Yeah, well worked then from Jay Schultz. He had to work really hard to get across and take that mark. Hawthorn had a good defensive shape in place, but he just led hard through it and dragged Frawley out.
He's got a good 20 metres out to his right. If he wants to run around and have a shot, there's not a Hawthorn player probably within 25 metres, so not sure why players still run in and have a deliberate shot from here when they can run around. Runs around a little bit.
So Schultz, he's got a couple. You can't kick it much better than that. Beautiful finish. So he's only one of 2 players out on the ground tonight that have kicked 5 goals against the Hawks. The other is Sean Burgoyne. Unlikely he'll ever kick 5 against the Hawks again.
He's done a lot for both clubs, Sean Burgoyne, hasn't he?
He is a beautiful kick of the footy, Schultz, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's the one guy that probably backs himself in, Wayne, doesn't he? In an orthodox fashion. So the next 4 weeks, next Thursday night, they go to the SCG.
Well, that will be a great game, one to look forward to, and then certainly the 3 after that. Tick, tick, tick. So they're in a great position, the Hawks.
If they win that one next week against the Swans, that really moves them ahead of the pack that are chasing them.
They'll finish top 2.
Yeah.
If they beat the Swans, they'll finish top 2. Good mark coming back by Impey, running and carrying and getting away. And then Impey's kick to centre half forward. Amon has had a good little burst in this quarter. Hodge, well done.
Holding Hawthorn.
Well, plenty of scribes during the week that looked at Hawthorn's draw and had them not finishing in the top 4.
Yeah, which comes straight at me.
Surprised me.
After that month that we just had a look at, North Melbourne at the MCG, then West Coast away and Collingwood to finish.
It's a good draw. You're going to pick them in most of those games, aren't you?
I guess West Coast in Perth is always difficult.
If Sydney next week, I mean, Sydney have already beaten them once, but they're going to start favouring all the others. They've been impressive tonight.
The good thing about the draw is they will have an opportunity to pick up that percentage that is slightly weak.
It's been their Achilles heel for a bit of the year, hasn't it? But not now. Boak, Austin, 21 tomorrow. Back to Boak, a little bit of 1-2. Knee, just waited for it. It does that a bit shaky knee. Quick kick to full forward. It's an up and under. Westhoff well placed. Good job by Gibson. It's bread and butter for him. Hill and Hawthorn, 2 guys that Richo talked about at quarter time that hadn't had a lot of. And she's got good hands, Sicily. He plays tall, doesn't he?
Clean hands, really clean. Yeah, Hill hasn't had a big game and neither's Hawthorn, but really needed them tonight.
Sicily and Hartnett are a centimetre apart in height. You'd swear Sicily was a lot taller given the way he plays. Trengove, Cracker, over the top to knee, but it's been a tough old night for the Power. A lot of bodies have gone down. They've been wounded. Well, they've found the champs too much in the end. 43,000. It's a very healthy crowd on a Thursday night. Friday night was a win for Port Adelaide over Richmond. They came in tonight 7-7. They've run into a side who's beaten everyone bar the Cats, the Giants and the Swans so far this year that they've come up against.
Boak was good, so was Gray. Now, the handball not great. Mitchell, well done. to Wines. Amon with a good last quarter. A very good last quarter by the 20-year-old. Not a bad move, Wayne. And Port doing well there. This is probably where they're at, you know, Duck. I mean, they're 4 or 5 goals behind the benchmark. They haven't smacked the dummy, have they?
No, they haven't. They've stayed in the contest. Just had to put more pressure on the Hawks earlier in the game. It's been a good finish by that young man there. But well, for the first time, they were clean, using the footy. Really good pick-up by Mitchell, wasn't it?
So Amon gets his second. And what has been a tough night. 11 goals, 6, 14, 11. Hawks by 23. Gray to Pittard. A chance perhaps inside to Wines. Goes there now. Inside 50. Strikes the ball well. They get another. Back to 17. The time is a problem, but if Lee Matthews' equation holds up, there is enough of it. 3:49, 3 goals required. Back-to-back goals, really completely against the grain. Lyons had to finish and did.
Yeah, Gray's had a real impact, hasn't he?
Huge last quarter from Gray.
Yeah, had plenty of it, and
9 clearances.
Even with a fumble there, they were able to kick that one. Well, amazing, the centre clearance, though.
Crowd's involved. Surely not. Couldn't possibly.
Love them to get the next one.
Trengove half gets it. Well done, McAvoy. Hartlett. Difficult ball for Impey. It sits. They've got to play with a lot of dare here. Impey's doing just that. Kept it in. Burne-Jones has got to provide the cover. He does. Impey's kick to centre half forward. Hawthorn with numbers. Westhoff doesn't mark. Burgoyne. Well, that'll be interesting. It'll be a ball up. Hawthorn have to rally the troops now. Get a few back. Boak had a hard knock earlier tonight.
So they've kicked the last 3. They'll need to kick the last 6 to win it. 3 and change to play. 17 points the margin. 43,000 fans. Not too many have left. And suddenly they found voice. Schultz, Amon and Wines, the last 3 of the evening. Wines did a bit of the ruck work. Trengove the roving. Lewis, not 15 the call. No tackle laid. Back it goes to Gunston. He drifts back when he's required to do so. This time he buys some territory.
Gee, Port were slow to react to Hamish. You're right. I mean, it was a clear call, not 15. Hawthorn were able to eat up those seconds.
Clearly, all the players thought it was 15.
Yep.
Probably was.
Trengove and McAvoy. Boat can't get the clearance. Smith, well done, Lewis. Gray's been magnificent in this last quarter. Boat, that's a terrible kick. That really is a big chance.
Probably a kick there, although a shocker, probably sums up their night.
Almost.
Yeah, I reckon.
Almost.
Yeah, when they've had some real opportunities, no real pressure, they've just turned the ball over and used the wrong option, missed targets, and another occasion there to go to the right spot that comes off the side of the boot. So
it's interesting that just with the man on the mark, anyway, that's all sorted out.
O'Shea knocks it forward. Hodge quickly, didn't have a lot of time. Sicily, happy to see it over. A few screams of deliberate, but to your point on that last play, Gray did such an unbelievable job to get the footy, dish it out to Boak. Everything was good. Yep. Finish, let the side down. So the effort has been enormous all night. The polish not quite there. They've been accurate. 12-6 Hawthorn, 14-11. McAvoy skids the ball in the Kane Mitchell direction. Broadbent, Rioli wins the battle, kicks it, buys again some metres, then puts the tackle on. Austin hooked inside, nothing doing. Broadbent clever against McAvoy, little give. Well done, O'Shea. And then the distance that he wanted not there. Segler, talk with Hodge not there. Kane Mitchell to the captain. to half forward. Wingard, this time against Brand. Wingard had Need going by, found Wines. A couple of youngsters who play like veterans. Into the pocket, Young. Gibson takes on Young. Need comes and gives support. Holding the ball to call. So, well, minute and a half. You'd think.
Is it deliberate? Handled it. No, I don't think he did. Aaron! Yes.
So it's just a must kick goal from a Port perspective. He's kicked a lot of goals this year, doesn't go for goal. Unselfish, Westhoff needed to play out a bit better than that.
So Gibson was, I think, was holding the ball. I think Gibson was asking the umpire to do it deliberately out of bounds, but I thought it was a holding the ball decision.
Yeah, it was, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said I handballed it, so I wasn't arguing that it was not out of bounds deliberately, just I got rid of the footy, he was saying.
Chitringo did well. Burgoyne and Smith rushing it over. So this has been good by Port Adelaide in the final term. Hawthorn have been the better team for certainly the second and third quarter from the early part of the last, but Port have played it right out. So it's probably where the two teams are at. One's just not quite finals material just yet, and the other one is every bit that and building. So Brand gets it, goes long, Pittard marks. So Port continuing to attack. Pittard, Broadbent, long and high. They're just hoping for a miracle mark. Young at the back, Mitchell. And Sam Mitchell, who's so much a part of that third quarter onslaught. Gets the ball wide, Trengove, little give. Impey in trouble. Well done, Impey. Very well done to Wines. And just smothered by Howe. And a boundary throw in. So nearly, but not quite. Hawthorn came here tonight to get rid of the irritant being Port Adelaide, to swipe them away.
A plucky Port Adelaide, but a better Hawthorn. Bruce off the ground, in danger.
In danger, Port Adelaide.
Not paid so often anymore, the in danger.
Straight to him, please. Talk to you after the kick. Move out, please. Just come out. He's one on the mark, Luke. One on the mark. Move out.
So Hamish Hartley dazed and confused earlier in the night to bring it back to a 10-point margin. Well, normally a very good kick that I'd love to have again.
It's a little bit like the game they played against West Coast earlier this year, where they closed the margin late. They got within 8 points, I think. I think Young kicked a very late goal that day, but not quite so close tonight. So the Hawks maybe with the last thrust. McAvoy's got Hill running hard. We know Hill's very, very fast. Gets onto it, Cracker quick as well. So probably the last play of the night. Well, the coach set the scene, didn't he? Early in the week, Alistair Clarkson, the players backed him to the hill. And Hawthorn come away with 4 precious points here at the Adelaide Oval. None better than him. So it's either a 17 or a 22-point game. Good kick, lovely finish. And for that man, justification and everything that he set up this week. Back to the hilt by a great team.
This has been a Fox Footy presentation, part of the Fox Sports Network.